love them, have fun with them. I mean, do what comes naturally. My first rule of parenting is enjoy your children. If you're enjoying them, it's almost for sure you're doing it right, unless
to listen. You have to really listen, and not just listen on the surface, but listen underneath what they might be saying or what they might not be saying, because they may or may not have the words to say it. And so this is where we have to be mindfully grounded in the moment to really sense and be able to hear what they're really saying. And then
all kind of learned active listening or effective listening, where it sounds like, I understand, and you must feel really upset about that. And I understand you don't want to put your soccer uniform on, and you can kind of hear where it's going. So a lot of people think that's mirroring. And it's certainly not a bad technique, but it's not going to have the same kind of magic that we're talking about. So the calm technique is really using your soul, your heart, to deeply connect and listen to that person, whoever it is. Because by the way, this doesn't just work for kids. This is like husbands, wives, bosses, nasty neighbors, mother-in-laws. It really is an incredibly important communication tool. So when you use this technique, you de-escalate people, you release incredible reward chemicals in the brain that soothe people, calm them down, and build resilience from the inside out. So that's kind of the Coles Notes version, I guess.
Perspective. If I come home from work and I've had a really rough day and I talk to my husband, I don't want my husband to fix my problem. I don't want him to tell me what I should do next time. I want him to be my best friend in that moment. I want him to validate my feelings. I want him to say, no way, that's so horrible. I can't believe that happened. Like, I want him to feel what I'm feeling.
Yeah. And that's true for your children, but it's true for all of us. What happens when someone is upset is the other person naturally feels like, oh, I have to solve this problem, or I have to make them feel better, or I have to do something, or I have to teach them something, or I have to leave them with something. But so often, even our kids, they just want to vent. They just want to talk about their pain. They just want someone to be on the same channel that they're on. And after they calm down, they will tell you when it's time. They'll say, can you help me? What would you do? What did you do when you were a kid? How was your day? Like, you'll see them switch it. But when it's our agenda, I need to fix you, it's not going to work. And you're absolutely right. So if you came home from work, and I don't know, I use this example a lot, but let's say you had a really nasty neighbor, okay? And the nasty neighbor looks out her window and doesn't like when your garbage is on her driveway, or your car is a little bit over the driveway or whatever. She comes running out and she's screaming at you, and you get in a whole thing, and you come inside and you're like, that woman is crazy. And I had the worst day, and won't believe what this woman did now. And if our spouse says, well, honey, like, why don't you've had this fight with her before. Why don't you just make sure the car's on the right side of the driveway? How would that go? Not well, right? It would be like, you don't get me, you don't understand. And when we try to do that with our children, those are the words we get back. You don't understand. You never listen to me. You don't care what I think. And so really, it's this ability to just listen. And it's funny that you called it best friend, because I call it the best friend response, right? So if someone just says, what does she do? Look out her window waiting to see if your car is like an inch over in the driveway? Does she not have anything better to do? That moment of connection where you just go, oh, thank you, you get me, actually does some amazing things. So let's talk about the science of what happens, and then we can break it down, and I can actually teach people this technique. So when someone deeply listens, and I had years ago, a little kid who said to me, because I often work with the child and the parents, and the child knew that I was working with the parents. And I said, how have the parents been doing? They've been working with me. Like, what do you think? How do you think they're doing? He goes, well, I think they've been listening to me with their heart. And that is a perfect explanation, right? That's exactly how it feels. So it's really being able to deeply connect. And when that happens, some pretty amazing things happen in the brain. So oxytocin, endorphins, natural endorphins, which are reward chemicals, actually flood the brain. Endorphins, right? All of these beautiful reward chemicals flood the brain, flooding every cell in the body and actually de-escalating and calming the person down. And as that happens, you're taking them from fight or flight which is screaming and yelling and getting mad and you don't understand me and you're mean and you're the worst mother ever. You're taking them from that state into an oxytocin based state. And I'll explain what oxytocin is in a moment, which is a much calmer state, which actually leaves the frontal lobe on. So we've got to talk